Some wounds don't bleed, they speak. And when they do, they can destroy everything you thought was unbreakable. Before I begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched the person you love turn cold right in front of your eyes, while you stand there helpless, wondering when you became a stranger? If yes, this story will hit you harder than you expect. Don't touch me. I decide what happens to my body. Those were the exact words Isabel Hart whispered sharply before slamming the bedroom door so hard it rattled the walls, leaving her husband, Daniel Hart, alone and shattered on the bed. She had no idea the quiet man she kept rejecting for months had already built a financial fortress around himself, one so airtight, her entire plan would collapse in a single court hearing. What followed wasn't just a crack in their marriage, it was the sound of her arrogance turning into panic in real time. And if you think loyalty is guaranteed in marriage, this story will make you rethink everything. The evening sun slid across the Hart home like warm honey, touching the high ceilings and polished floors with soft golden light. Daniel stepped inside from the garage, his boots carrying traces of dust and motor oil from another long day at the mechanical facility he owned. His breath eased as the familiar scent of home wrapped around him, but something was wrong. The house looked perfect, it just didn't feel alive anymore. He walked toward the dining area and froze when he heard her voice. Isabel sat at the far end of the table, her phone propped against a candle holder, her face glowing with the soft light of the screen. She laughed quietly, a soft, youthful kind of laugh he hadn't heard in months. She brushed her hair behind her ear, smiling the kind of smile she never showed him anymore. He didn't want to eavesdrop, but he also didn't want to interrupt. When the call ended, she wiped the smile off her face instantly, like she was hiding something. Only then did she turn and notice him standing there. "Oh. You're home." Her voice shrank into something cold, something cautious. Daniel stepped in slowly, loosening his collar. "Long day," he said softly. "Thought maybe we'd eat together." "I already ate." "You didn't," he replied gently, not accusing, just truth. She looked away. "I'm exhausted. Clinic was crazy. I just want to shower and sleep." He nodded. What else could he do? Later, when he entered the bedroom, she was under the covers, scrolling through her phone, smiling again, but never at him. He climbed into bed, reached out, and placed a gentle arm around her waist, and her whole body stiffened. "Not tonight," she said sharply. "I'm stressed." He tried again, softly. "I miss you, Isabel." She sighed, annoyed. "Please don't start. I'm not in the mood." He touched her shoulder gently. She pulled away like his hand burned her. Her voice sliced through the dark like a blade. "Don't touch me. I decide what happens to my body." She grabbed her pillow, walked out, and shut the guest room door behind her. Daniel lay there, staring at the ceiling, his chest heavy with a pain he couldn't name. Something wasn't just wrong, something was breaking. The next morning, the space beside him was cold. Untouched. As if she had never been there at all. He knocked softly on the guest room door, trying to understand, trying to reach the woman he loved. "Can we talk?" "I don't have time," she said from behind the door. And that was that. At the kitchen counter later, she moved around him like he was a stranger. Dressed sharply, more makeup than usual, no warmth in her voice. "I need space," she said. And then she walked out, leaving him staring at the soft click of the door closing behind her. At work, the machines hummed, sparks flew from welding stations, and his team greeted him with respect. But Daniel wasn't present. Isabel's voice haunted him. "I decide what happens to my body." His friend Rob studied him with concern. "You look like hell. Something's wrong." Daniel exhaled slowly. "She's different. Cold. She avoids me. Lies about everything. She smiles at someone on the phone, a smile I haven't seen in months. Rob hesitated before speaking. Sometimes when people pull away, it's because their attention is somewhere else. Daniel clenched his jaw. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I just want the truth. Hours passed. Work ended. He drove home with a heart heavier than the tools in his workshop. When he stepped into the house, he found Isabel in the kitchen, glowing, energized, as if she had a wonderful day. Hey, she said casually. You're home early. It's 7, he replied softly. This is my usual time. A silence settled between them. Then she turned, too cheerful, too sudden. So. I need some money, she said. I'm planning a solo vacation. Just me. Somewhere nice. I need a break. His chest tightened. How much? $100,000, she said without blinking. It's just a little getaway. Daniel stared at her like he was seeing her for the first time. You haven't spoken to me in months, he said quietly. You sleep in another room. You reject me. You don't touch me. You lie to me. And now you suddenly want $100,000? She stiffened. So now you're keeping score. I'm asking for honesty. Are you refusing me? She demanded. Daniel stepped closer, calm, steady, heartbreak turned into clarity. Yes. I'm refusing. Her mouth fell open. You made it very clear last night, he said, voice deep and controlled. You decide what happens to your body. He let the silence burn between them. And now I decide what happens to my money. The air cracked. Her shock twisted into rage. Unbelievable, she shouted. After everything I've done for you? You're a selfish, controlling man. I'm not your bank, Isabel. She grabbed her purse, eyes blazing with fury. Fine. Then get ready to give me half of everything you own. As far as I'm concerned, this marriage is over. She stormed toward the door, heel striking the floor with finality. And Daniel didn't stop her. But what she didn't know, what would flip her entire world upside down, was that Daniel had been preparing for this day long before she ever pulled away from him. And when she stepped into that courtroom thinking she would bleed him dry, she walked straight into the biggest shock of her life. Before I continue, what would you do if the person you loved treated you like this? Because this story, it's far from over.